Hey friends! So today we are going to talk about probiotics. This is a question that I get all the time, not just lately, always. Everyone is always asking about probiotics. Should I be taking them? Should my baby be taking them? Where am I getting probiotics if I'm not taking a supplement? So I kind of wrote down some notes and I'm just going to hammer through them. If anybody has questions, go ahead and comment and I'll try to address those, but we are going to just kind of fly through. So a big question that I get often for breastfeeding moms is, if I take a probiotic, is that going to my baby? So I actually conversed a little bit with Dr. Steph Nishik at Dakota Natural Health about this because it's kind of confusing. So a lot of times, I tell moms all the time, anything that we are around goes on top of our body, that goes inside of our body, it is coming out in our breast milk. So our baby's being exposed to these things. Of course, anything that's topical or like certain medications, like it's okay because your body is able to separate that from the milk that we're making that our baby is getting. But I mean, you guys know, like if you're drinking alcohol, that's going to your baby in a much lesser amount because obviously it's like pulling it from your bloodstream. But they still are being exposed to these things that are going into our bodies. So did you know that there are 700 different strains of bacteria just in our breast milk, just the way it is? So something that Steph brought up to me, so if you're taking a probiotic yourself, you're taking a supplement, it's not necessarily going to your baby, but if your microbiome, so your gut bacteria, just like your body's bacteria in general, is really diverse. So you have a lot of really good bacteria built up in your body. You're probably very, very healthy. Then what happens is that when your body creates breast milk for your baby, it also creates a really diverse breast milk, diverse bacteria in your breast milk. So when you take the supplement yourself, it doesn't go through your breast milk to your baby. Your body uses your supplement to create a better microbiome for you so that when your body is leaching your nutrients, pulling those nutrients from your body to make breast milk that go to baby, you are already starting it off with more bacteria or better diversity, more different strains of bacteria. So that I thought was really, really cool. The other big thing that, there's research out there right now that I think I was just kind of like mind blown, like I want to say last fall, Alex and I went on a trip and they talked so much about the relationship between the microbiome and our immune systems, which I think is really huge right now because everybody's working on being as healthy as we possibly can because everybody's scared to get sick right now. Aren't we all? Like, I'm petrified to be sick because people just like think that I have coronavirus, like if you're sick. So we're all trying to stay super healthy, which we always should anyways, try to stay super healthy. But that doesn't necessarily mean like, of course, hand washing, absolutely. But I think it's hard right now because we're living in an environment, we're living in a world that has been stripped of bacteria, right? We're sanitizing everything. We're telling kids not to touch these things. Like normally they do normal kid things, right? Like touch things and put their hands in their mouth, and they use that bacteria to colonize their body. And it's important for us to have bacteria in our bodies to build our immune systems. So that link between our microbiome, or that good bacteria in our body, and our immune systems is so fascinating to me. So the more good bacteria we can build up in our body, the healthier we are. So let's see here. Probiotics, just in general, they're going to play a huge, huge role in the development of your baby's immune system. So if you want your baby to grow up, become a kid that is super healthy, that's not getting sick all the time, you need to start when they're infants. You need to make sure that they're getting all that good gut bacteria when they're babies, because that is going to affect how they're capable of fighting off sickness. It's going to decrease inflammation in our bodies. It is going to increase likelihood of poops, and we all want that, right? Because I see so many moms that come in here and they're like, oh, I don't know, he just seems so uncomfortable. He just won't poop. He's grunting all the time. So if we can make sure that we're colonized with good bacteria, that's helping our digestive tract, and babies are going to poop more often, become less constipated, and all those things. Side note, it is okay for your breastfed baby to go longer than a few days without having a poop. It's quite normal, and we see it all the time. Don't be stressed out if your baby goes even 2 weeks without pooping. They will, and they'll have a blowout, and a lot of times they can be uncomfortable, but you have to remember that they have to work this out. They have to figure it out. And breast milk is, after all, just liquid. It's not like they're constipated. They just have to get that peristalsis working, and they will poop. But it is okay for them not to poop all the time. It's also going to decrease your incidence of fungal infections. So I don't know if you guys know this, but anytime you take an antibiotic, it's basically stripping your body of any natural good bacteria. So what we want to do when we are taking an antibiotic is kind of combat that by taking a good probiotic in addition, so that we're working to colonize at the same time as we're stripping. That is going to decrease the incidence of thrush or any kind of any kind of yeast. We all are familiar with that as women. Yeast can grow very, very quickly, and it's uncomfortable for moms and for babies. So we want to obviously make sure that we can do anything we can, especially if we're having antibiotics, to decrease that. There's something called the gut-brain axis. So your mental health is connected to your gut health. So the healthier you can make your body as far as bacteria goes, the more good bacteria you can grow in your body, the better you're going to feel. You're not going to feel as depressed. There's a lot of depressing things going on in the world right now. So one thing that we know that we can do to decrease our amount of stress and anxiety is increase our gut health. That's going to help with our mental health. So the probiotics, like I said, the good bacteria is not being put into our mouth and coming out our breast milk. It's going into our mouth, being absorbed by our body, and then our body makes the breast milk. So don't think if I take a probiotic, it's coming through to baby. We talked about that. But something that's crazy is that when your body is taking these nutrients to create that breast milk, it is actually taking some of your beneficial bacteria and putting it into the breast milk. So what can happen is when we're actually, as mothers, if you're a breastfeeding mom like me, you know that I'm freaking tired. I'm tired a lot. And I know that it's because I'm making food for another human. Now, that being said, it's different probably for me than other moms because my human is older, so she's not eating as often. But when you're in those beginning stages especially, you are being drained of so many nutrients. So it's so important for us to feed our bodies the right way and make sure that we've got that good gut health going on so that we can refeed our immune systems, right? Because we get a little bit drained because that good bacteria is going to baby. We need to really, really be on top of that so that we can have that good microbiome, so that we can have a great immune system, so that we can feel better while we're breastfeeding. I'm going to try to make this way faster than last time. So I put this in the title, but 70% of our immune system is in the gut, which is just bizarre. That's so cool to me. So a good way to get some probiotics and prebiotics. I have had this conversation recently because I followed along with one of Alex's seminars that was on nutrition and around fertility and things like that. And she talked about not doing probiotics at all because this gets kind of complicated. I'm going to keep it simple. So when we take a probiotic, we're deciding what bacteria to put into our bodies. When we take a prebiotic or we eat a prebiotic, the prebiotic is basically the food for the bacteria. So it feeds the bacteria, and our body decides what bacteria are going to be growing in big quantities inside of our body. So that's kind of intriguing to me, and I guess I'm still on the fence with exactly what to do. So when I talked to Dr. Steph Nishik, she did say everybody's different, and a good combination of both is really important. So good probiotics are going to be your fermented foods. So I don't know about you, I love kombucha. It is okay to drink during pregnancy. There's a small amount of alcohol in it, but I did drink it throughout my pregnancy. It's just fine. Let's see, what else? Any kind of fermented food. So kimchi, what do I have? Yogurt, sauerkraut, things that are fermented are going to give you that good bacteria in your gut. You can also take probiotics in pill form. The problem with probiotics in pill form is you have to find a really good one, and you have to make sure that it is most probiotics that you're going to find are going to be shelf stable, and you don't want to be taking the ones that are in the fridge most likely, because what happens is when they're cold and then they go into your body, into your digestive tract, and they are heated, very warm, like our bodies, they just break down. They don't exist anymore and they don't work. So it's pointless for us to take it. So if you take a good shelf-stable probiotic, we cross our fingers and hope that it lives to get to our gut where it needs to get. So that's a tricky one. We do carry one here, and Steph had recommended one. I'll put that in the comments. I can't remember the exact name of it. And you can actually do probiotics for your baby. So we do carry some drops here. She also, Claire Labs, that's the name of it. Claire spelled with a K. Probiotic powder that you can put on just a small amount on a passy, on your finger, on your nipple, and give that to baby to give them a little bit extra. Prebiotics, that's one just like I'm still researching this. So Google that, Google what good prebiotics are. We did buy a capsule form, and I will say that I feel like that's been helping. I think certain foods are good prebiotics, like green bananas are one. Certain nuts are good prebiotics. So getting those prebiotics to feed the probiotics and doing a combination of pre and probiotics to make sure that that gut health is way up there so that our immune health is way up there is really super important. If you guys have any other questions about this, let me know, and I can hopefully put that in the comments for you or do another video on it. But hopefully that is some good food for thought.